So I just trapped these 4 kittens today, and they're about 9 weeks, but someone's been feeding them regularly, and they get pretty close, and so does the mom. We're still trying to get the mom and 2 more kittens. So I'm hoping they won't be too wild, but I haven't handled them yet. So I'm going to kind of show you how I first get them and assess them and handle them straight out of the trap. So this little trap's a little easier to get them out of than the big long ones. So I'm going to kind of tip it and put it onto me a little bit. And then I'm going to reach in with this over my hand. And then I'm going to go back behind the neck and just scruff really tight. Remember, scruffing is nature's little perfect handle. So I have this little one, and I'm going to kind of wrap him up so he doesn't bite. See, he's really scared and he's really stiff. If I were to let go of his scruff right now, he would boing around the garage and he would hide, and it would take me a long time to find him. If I tried to grab him just loose in the garage as he ran around, he'd bite. He's even kind of trying to bite right now. So I have a tight hold of his little scruff, and I'm going to put him in the cage because I don't have a very good handle on him. And then I will work with him a little later when he calms down. I'm going to let him run into the back. There you go. Oh, actually, he's kind of being mellow for a minute, and he's letting me get a better handle. So I'm going to, yep, he's a boy. I just wanted to check that he's a little boy. So now I'm going to let him go into the bed. There. Oh, there you go. See? He's doing okay. So there's the first little one. He's going to kind of probably bounce around the cage for a minute and see if there's a way out. This is why you don't bring feral kittens home and put them loose in the house or even loose in a room. Imagine if this was a room like this one, or if this were a room that had a bed and a dresser and a bookshelf, all kinds of places to hide. That would be very bad. You would not be able to catch them and handle them and tame them and socialize them. They have to be confined to be able to do that. So I'm going to get this second one. And this one's the same color, another little flame point. Little flame point Siamese mix. There you go. He did really good. He did so well. He's very nervous and stiff, but he's doing good. And this one is a little boy too. Are you a little boy? See, he's very nervous. And he's going to hiss. He wants to get away. But giving them some yummy canned food and making sure they know they're nice and safe, and just kind of giving them a little time, and then handling them is going to work wonders for these guys. So I'm going to put him in as well. I'm going to slip him in without his brother getting out. So there's those 2 little boys. Now the other 2 are orange, and the 2 that are still left at the colony are orange. And the mom is a beautiful fluffy orange tabby. So these guys all got short hair because that's a bit more of a dominant trait, is short hair. But they're all pretty similar colored. This one's a little light orange with white, aren't you? So I'm going to come over on this side, and then there's a darker pure orange. So these traps can be a little bit trickier because they're long. So you kind of have to reach in and hope that they don't go to the very, very end. I'm going to put it tilted up just a little bit so I have the advantage and I can reach in a little better. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to put my whole shoulder here so he doesn't bounce out past me. And I'm going to try to go up and over. And it's hard because it's just a little bit too long. So I have to really try to feel for get a hold of the scruff. But he's helping me out by moving backwards a bit. And I got this one. So here's this little dude. This towel that I have is just a little bit too short to wrap him in. So I'm going to use this one as well. And I'm going to get a better hold. There we go, that's a better hold. Just like the mama would do. He's got a teeny bit of snot on his nose, but he's okay. And this one's a girl. An orange girl, just like your mama. And this one's a pretty soft orange and white color. So, let's put her in there. Okay, go with your brothers. They're nice round little pudge balls. They've been doing pretty well. But they live in an industrial place by the railroad tracks, by a freeway exit, and they have construction in the next field over. So it's not the most ideal place to live forever. You know, the mama, of course, is going to go back unless she turns out to be tame, but the babies have a chance at having a nice, safe pet life. So reach in and grabbing behind them is always best, and they often don't know what's coming if you have a towel over your hand. He's a little feistier. He says, I see you. I see what you're doing. Okay, come here. Come here. Come here. It's just a little bit too long. Alright. I'm going to get a better handle on this little one. And he's biting. He's biting the towel. So it's good that I have the towel because they can bite on that instead of me. Are you so scared? Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. You're okay. You're okay. Come here. Yeah. We're not going to see if you're a boy or a girl yet. We're just going to put you in the cage. Because you're a little bit feistier. So if I had a foster home that wanted just one of them to really work with the feisty one, then I would probably pick that one. and pair other ones up together, but that one might be good to go by itself. Well, this little one's warming up quick. I scruffed her, put her in a blanket. I gave her some dewormer. And now she's even letting this one hold her in a blanket, huh? If we were to let her go in here, she would run, she would hide. If we tried to catch her as she ran, she might bite. But while we have her, she's doing really good, which is why we keep them in a crate or a tower or something like that. We don't just let them loose, huh? We don't let them hide and let them loose and chase them all around, because if we keep them confined, it helps their socialization so much quicker and better. Kitties don't like to be chased, huh?
Not ever.
Yeah. Yeah. This one is the feisty one from last night. So when I hold him, I've still been holding his scruff because I don't want him to bolt and get away. A little bit of a fighter, huh? A little scratch on your nose, poor thing. He's the one that was biting the blanket and was really trying to get away last night. And he's doing okay, but he's just a little bit nervous still. So I just have a nice little handle on his scruff. I probably won't let her hold him. All right, I'm going to give him some dewormer. And I put all of theirs together, but I'm going to just measure it out as I give it. And they're not going to want to really open and swallow. But this is just general dewormer. It's banana flavor. And you see how I kept him scruffed and kind of wrapped while I did it. And that's all there is to it. And Afton's filming for me, huh? My 4-year-old.
Yeah, me.
And this little flame point boy is still very stiff, and he has his little claws out, and he has his little ear back, and he's very mad. So I'm going to keep a hold of his little scruff too. So these little guys are still pretty feisty, but they're easy to reach in and scruff. They're pretty easy to handle. So they'll take a little bit of, oh, they're just hiding, huh? They'll take a little bit of work. They'll take being confined for a while, and they'll take a while to not want to run and hide. But with lots of cuddles and lots of handling, they're gonna tame up. They'll be okay. They just need to be handled every single day. They need to be carried around in a blanket when you watch TV, work at the computer, whatever. You can just have them with you, take turns with them. They can be your little pals. All right, we have 3 up here and 2 down here. It's day 3 for these guys and day 2 for this hissy little girl runt. So I'm going to show you how they'll kind of hiss a little bit. Not you guys as much. More these 2, they're a little more wild. But these guys, oh yeah, see? They'll hiss a little bit, but if you go back behind and get them by the scruff. Now we have this little one by the scruff. And she's stiff, but she's not trying to bite or even get away. So this little girl is the tamest so far. I bet she won't even hiss. She won't! So I don't even have to scruff her anymore. Huh? Because she is just doing really well. Yeah. Get that out of your eye. Are you doing really well? Yeah. And she's actually the first one that likes being petted. The other ones are stiff and they're like, why are you touching me? But she likes it. So for her, it only took 3 days and she likes it. This chubby little teddy bear girl. All right, so these little guys are going to be split into a different foster home. So with little tiny kittens, we always want to keep them together. But these guys, they feed off of each other. When there's too many of them, they kind of feed off of each other. So these little orange ones back here, we're going to put one in one foster home and one in the other because they're very feisty. And this little girl right here, we're going to put her in a new foster home. One of these guys, not that one, I'm keeping that one to work on for a bit. But we like to split them up because when you have that many, they just bounce off of each other. They feed off of each other. And when you can separate them, it's just a little bit more manageable. And they take a lot of time and work. They take a lot of individual effort for each kitten. And we still have one more kitten to get and the mom to get and fix. We've been trying to trap them. So there's going to be 6. So doing 3 and 3 will be a lot more manageable for people. We're going to take you, aren't we? Because you're nice. And you are having a really hard time still, aren't you? You're okay. Come here. I know. See, this one is very easy to handle, and she's getting to where she likes to be petted. But this one is going to make them not progress as much. So, for now, we'll still keep them all together. If they were older and this one didn't calm down after a while, then we could take this one and put it in a foster home by itself. But they're still young enough. Come here. They're still young enough and they're still easy to handle enough. There you go. That I think this one will get to stay with its siblings. If we had like an older kitten that really wasn't progressing, it's a great idea to separate them out. But if we can keep kittens together, that's always good. See, I'm kind of scruffing, but also kind of letting go. And she's feisty. She's the runt, too. She's a little runt girl. And she just thinks she's so tough, huh? But we'll get you tame. We'll get you tame. This big teddy bear girl is doing so well, and it really goes to show how much personality is a factor. Age is a factor, exposure to humans is a factor, but personality for each individual kitten is definitely also a factor. There we go. Let's try it like that. And you have a naturally good, sweet personality, don't you?
Aren't you guys feisty?
Do you both have one? And they're doing pretty good, huh?
Those three, no.
Some are doing a little better than others, huh? You're pretty easygoing, huh? Just a little scared. What about you? Yeah, you're a little feisty still, huh?